Tarifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your questions, give you updates. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I also have updates for you. It's nice to see you again. We have been busy here at ST Law Office, and I'm sure there's a lot going on for all of you. But on our side, our focus is to help immigrants to get protection from deportation, especially at this time in this climate. And so that's what we've been busy doing. And now I do have something to announce here, that one thing we have been trying to do is to be able to provide as much service to immigrants as possible to help you get your papers here. So we now are offering free initial evaluations to see if you can possibly qualify for relief by working with us here as the attorneys. Go ahead, call the number. When you call, you will be forwarded to an intake specialist who can look through your case and then determine if it's something we can help you with. That's our free initial evaluation. So go ahead and give us a call. You can call anytime. If you want to get an evaluation on the same day, go ahead and call now. And then you will be forwarded to one of our specialists who can then start that initial evaluation for you. Go ahead and do that now. We're trying to make sure that as many people as possible you know your options. And the way we're looking at this is we want you to call, even to get a second opinion on your matter, to see if you can qualify, especially now for your benefits here. So the number is on the screen. So you'll see the number on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram. You'll see and YouTube, I said YouTube, but the number is going across the screen. Go ahead, give us a call now. On TikTok, you will see that the number is in the headline, the part that talks about, it's at the top under my name, but also what we're talking about today. So go ahead. Now, how long is a T visa bona fide determination after biometrics? So I would say about a month or 6 weeks after the biometrics. We have been getting a lot of bona fides, which is it's a big relief for my clients, because what that T visa bona fide determination means is that they will be able to get protection while they wait for their case to be decided. So by showing that bona fide determination letter, it means that any kind, even if they have a proceeding in place, everything is on hold until that decision is made. So it's really great news. It's a big relief for my clients that are getting it, and we are getting it now. We are getting those letters now. So they are deciding the cases. They are moving them forward, and this is why I'm saying move forward to get protection. Don't sit do not be a sitting duck. That's the worst thing you can do now, is be a sitting duck and wait for something, because if you have no way to show the government that you qualify for benefits here, it means that you're likely going to, if you are stopped or you are detained, it's going to be a lot harder to convince them at that point. So you want to make sure that if you qualify under the law for relief, you do that now, so we can get started and that you can get protection. All right, so that is my announcement today. There is a lot going on. So right now, a lot going on in the area of immigration enforcement. There's a lot going on in that area. They're now looking at deputizing IRS agents. These are IRS agents in the criminal division. They usually deal with people who don't pay their taxes. Now they're looking at bringing those IRS agents that are in the criminal division into the work of immigration enforcement. So now they are looking at getting those individuals in on the immigration by deputizing them to investigate trafficking and investigate employers who hire undocumented immigrants. So that's the latest that we're hearing. And the main reason for that, I believe, is there is a shortage of immigration enforcement officers out there. And so they're trying to get as many people on board to help with immigration enforcement. So on the USCIS side, we have not seen. We are going to be seeing changes over time, but these changes will be announced. And I have practiced in the last administration, so I have an idea of what kind of changes are coming. If you follow me, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, or you're on Facebook, you will see me release these videos about the potential changes and how to deal with those changes that are likely to be coming over the next few years. So make sure you're following me, make sure you're subscribing so that you can get those updated videos. All right. So now that I've given you some updates, especially regarding the free initial evaluation, go ahead and call now so that you can take advantage of that right now. Because I want to help as many people determine whether you qualify for relief. Okay, so now that I've talked about that, I'm going to jump into questions. Go ahead, put your questions in the comments now so I can answer your questions. I see questions already. I'm going to start with TikTok and move my way across. So put your questions in the comments now. Got a cancel without prejudice on my F1 yesterday, but I went in for H2B, so don't know why. So sounds not sure why they did that. Why cancel without prejudice? Maybe if it was expired, if somehow it's invalidated because now you're going in for an H2B, that could be the reason. But I'm not the attorney on your case. I wouldn't be able to tell. How long OPLA is taking to respond after submit PD in NYC. So we're seeing 3 months to even 6 months to even get the response on this. Got a cancel without prejudice on my F1, so I answered that. I'm married for 4.5 years. I have my I-130 approved, so it's possible I receive a green card with no, I'm not sure what INT is. Now, keep in mind, it depends on where you are. If you are in the United States, you got an approved I-130, you need to file for adjustment of status to finish the green card process in the United States. If you are outside of the United States, then you have to go through the National Visa Center and they will process a visa for you to enter the country. So it depends on where you are. If in the past you have entered the country without permission, then unfortunately you'll have to go through what's called an I-601A process. So make sure that you schedule that initial evaluation with us so we can determine which pathway is best for you. You already have an approved I-130, it's just to get you over the line. So we need to figure that out for you. I'm married, let's see. I'm married for 4, so I answered that. Can I apply for VAWA after filing I-130? Absolutely, yes, you can. Now, if you are wanting to switch because of mistreatment by a parent, an adult child, or a spouse, that is possible. I would say treat it with urgency now, because when you have a pending process, if it gets to a certain point, like the interview stage, it can complicate things. So please make sure you go ahead and schedule an appointment with us. Go ahead, call first. They will walk you through the steps. They'll do an evaluation, and then you can schedule an appointment to talk through strategy in your case. So get on that right now. Can 2 speeding tickets affect the N400 application? No arrest was made. It's unlikely speeding will affect you. And now, if speeding came with something like reckless driving, child endangerment, something like that, that might be a little serious. But if you got speeding tickets, then that's another thing. When can I call to get free evaluation? Call right now. You can call right now. So call at any point and we'll get you to that initial evaluation. Hello, can I apply for, so I answered that. Is it a good time to request prosecutorial discretion? So really that's on a case-by-case basis. Usually prosecutorial discretion, here's the deal. With prosecutorial discretion, you are already in trouble, right? You've already been in placed in removal proceedings, or you're now in custody of ICE. You know you are in serious danger and really close to being removed. At that point, yes, absolutely, you have nothing to lose, right? But keep in mind that I am not your attorney. I'm not giving you personalized legal advice. That is where it's very important to once again schedule time to talk about your case so we can go through strategy. We can determine what's best for you legally, and whether it is a last resort option or if there's something better for you to pursue. If someone was married to an American for 6 years but got divorced, can they get the documents? It depends on what happens. Now, if you go ahead and you um, divorce them less than 2 years ago and they mistreated you, you can qualify for VAWA, right? If you've been divorced for less than 2 years. If you are separated but not divorced, you can qualify for VAWA, but we have to determine whether you qualify, and that's what our free initial evaluation does. It allows us to see if you qualify potentially for this kind of relief, and then we can work with you. So go ahead and call and schedule that initial evaluation so we can see if we can take your case. So the free initial evaluation is there for us to be able to evaluate your case for free, so that you can call, you can get you can get it, you don't have to pay. We can see if there are possible avenues for you that we as the attorneys can help you with. So we do that part of it free of cost, so that we want everybody to have the opportunity to get their case reviewed. And so that's why it's there. It's there for us to see, do you have a potential avenue? And at that point, you have a potential avenue, you're able to then talk through strategy with us to see exactly how we can help you. Does someone have their SSN and WP? Can they travel domestic? Yes, as long as it's valid, you can travel on that work permit with the SSN. You're good. That is why you see me pushing so hard. This is an avenue to get protection. You can apply for the work permit. You can and the work permit gives you temporary protection while you wait for your case to be processed. In the case of the T visa, you get the work permit for the duration of the time that you have the T visa, which is 4 years. And then after 3 years, you can apply for your green card. FedEx delivered my I-485 application to wrong USCIS address. What to expect next? You might get it back, so it might be rejected, and you'll get it back for wrong location. Depending on what kind of case it is, they may transfer it, but it's likely you're going to get it back. My I-130 is approved, but my kid's still waiting for almost 2 years. Is that normal? If your kids are outside of the United States, that is normal. And it depends. How old are your kids? What category are they in? That's why I say it's very important to check, to get an opinion, get representation to help you. What is the approval rate of the T visa? So at the USCIS, the last I checked, it was at 80%. However, keep in mind that I don't control the approval rating at the USCIS. So over time, we have to reevaluate those numbers after we, of course, after we see potential changes coming in. But the last I checked, it was at 80%. Is it possible for I-485 VAWA be 30 months without decision after doing biometrics since Yes, it's possible. It can go for 36 months, I believe right now it may be even longer. The processing time may be longer than 36 months. My EAD was filed on December 2024 with Nebraska Service Center. How long before I receive EAD? So it depends. It depends on the case type and so forth. Got prima facie letter, use it, and got my Florida ID. Is that a good way forward? Yes, absolutely. The Florida ID, definitely, definitely, that's a good thing because it means that you can show that you have permission. Well, not immigration wise, but the prima facie does offer you some form of temporary protection, and it offers you the ability to get certain benefits. So, getting your Florida ID means that you can present that ID to a police officer, then they will accept it. They probably will not question you any further about the validity of your immigration status. As judges blocked Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship, does that mean that everything will be going on as usual until the final ruling comes from upper court? So the judge, yes, and we do anticipate that they are gonna appeal this. I anticipate they probably will appeal this up to the Supreme Court. And what it means is everything is normal as usual unless now it goes up to a court that then decides otherwise. This is my legal input here, is that it's really you really, and this is I think across the board 99% of lawyers and judges are going to agree on this. The plain language of the Constitution states that anybody who's born here is a US citizen. I mean, there's just no way to interpret that any differently. The administration tried to, come up with some kind of way to get around the born in the United States. It didn't work, just because it's really as plain as day. So it would be really, really hard to justify this executive order. What would need to happen is the president would have to seek to amend the Constitution, which takes two-thirds of the House and Senate, and then also ratification from the states. So it is very difficult to get a constitutional amendment. And so, but he has to go that route, So we would have to see. Let's see. But my prediction is that executive order is not going to hold up. Now, hopefully, we don't see any outrageous decisions coming from any of the higher courts. We have seen that before. Hopefully, we don't see that here. So, Johnny, go ahead, and what I would say here, ask very general questions here. If you need to talk about your issue, the way it's going to start is you need to call us and get that initial evaluation done so that we can determine whether, and this is a win-win situation, right? Because it means that when we're doing this, we're saving you time, we're saving you money. We want to make sure that you qualify for our assistance. And so by calling and doing that evaluation, we're able to tell you from the beginning whether we can help, and then we can move forward by then going and talking about specific strategy in regarding to your case and how we can help you. So go ahead, call the office, and let's start that way. Don't put any personal information here, and don't expect any personal legal advice. And same here, if you're a client, please make sure you are talking to us directly. Do not put your information on in here, right? If you're an existing client, please don't put your personal information or questions. You have access from all angles as our client. We call, we talk to you by message, we talk to you through your portal. So please make sure that you use those resources and those avenues that we give you. Don't do it here on the platform, because we want to protect your confidentiality. We need to. That's a priority for the firm. So, and same with anybody here. We want to also prioritize your confidentiality. You can ask general questions. So, welcome to ask general questions. Personalized legal advice, we need to talk, and you can start with the evaluation. I have an interview coming up. We only got a joint bank account and electric bill, life insurance, and photos. Is that good, or I need more? That's a really good starting point. What I would say here with the marriage base is joint bank account. How does it look? What's the quality of the document you provided? Electric bill, that's great. Joint electric bill, life insurance, that's good too. However, with the proof that you're living together is going to be a big one. A joint bank account, they can be skeptical if that bank account is empty and not active. Remember, any two people can open a bank account together. So it does not mean that your marriage is bona fide. But if they see, a couple bank statements, activities, they see how you share your money, how you're allocating your financial resources together, that is what matters. Just having a bank account alone is not going to cut it for the marriage base. Actually, here's one thing you should take away from this. Having a joint bank account with no money in there is actually a red flag. I have seen it. So clients have hired me to overcome NOIDs, which is a notice of intent to deny, because to start off, they just sent sent a joint bank account with nothing in there. At the time they just got married, they just sent it, and they never provided them updated statements. So when they see that, they think, okay, it just looks like they went to a bank and got a bank account together. So that looks fake to me. So make sure you're thoughtful about the kinds of evidence you provide. Happy Tuesday, new beginnings. Thanks so much for that. I appreciate that, Sunshine. What is new on VAWA? So right now, it's been quiet in the VAWA world. It's been quiet on the T visa, U visa side. So nothing new. What I do want to emphasize, though, is that they are doing interviews for the VAWA, and this is because, of course, we have bad apples. Scammers are going out there and they're convincing immigrants. So scammers are saying, I can get you your work permit. I can get you, and so the scammers put themselves out there as paralegals, as immigration specialists. They're not attorneys. They just say they're immigration specialists, and we can get you your work permit. And then, of course, immigrants are trusting them. And the price looks really good too. The price tag looks really good. And so they go for it. And what the immigration is now finding out, and what I'm finding out through consultations with people who have been fallen victim to this, is that these people are filing FAWA applications. They're filing false documents. They're filing false information in the names of the immigrants, which means now the immigrants are facing misrepresentation and fraud accusations as well. So it is what I would say, if you fallen victim to a situation like this, get legal advice about how to go forward, because you may need to make it very clear you're a victim and you are not in on this kind of fraud. So what happened is, because of this, immigration, they're now scheduling interviews with individuals, especially in certain areas like New York where the scammers were. They're now doing interviews, and they ask them just to make sure that everything that they submitted in the application is true, because the scammers falsify information. They'll put things like their aunt abused them, their sister abused them, they're people that don't qualify for VAWA and send it in anyway. So that's one of the major changes right now with the VAWA. Okay, so can you use T visa receipt notice to get driver's license in Florida? No. You may be able to use the bona fide determination letter, but not the T visa receipt notice. Let's see. Okay, I heard USCIS changed Vermont Center to Nebraska to accept all T visa applications after December 15. Are you receiving receipt notice or bona fide letters from Nebraska? Yes, yes. So the service center, wherever they tell you it needs to be sent, you need to send it there. What I would say here though is, listen, the T visa is not for you to just fill out paperwork and send in. So don't treat this like it's just it's a passport application. This is serious business, and you need to make sure you qualify for it and then get an attorney to do it, an experienced attorney with a T visa. So that's just, I'm telling you here now, because a lot of people have misconceptions that immigration, you just fill out some forms, and this is where a lot of people are getting into trouble now. And now is not the time to play around with these applications, because it's gonna get a lot more tedious. Let's see. All right. Being a beneficiary on my husband's account is a thing because the bank is asking for my SSN to apply for joint account. I've used an ITIN to apply with him, but it's a problem. So I'm not sure it really comes down to the bank policies. You might have to find another bank though if they're giving problems. The ITIN should not, if once you have the ITIN, it shouldn't be a problem. I had applied for T. How much time to get the work permit? So right now, what's happening is they issue a bona fide determination, and the bona fide determination is 70 to 90 days after applying, approximately, and then they process for the work permit. So I'm thinking, based on how things should go, it should be 3 to 6 months. Keep in mind, though, we also have to watch out for changes because we're going to get whiplash, by the way. So hang on. Do you think Trump will ever stop marriage-based conditional green card removal due to divorce? That is statutory. They can't just take it away. So Trump can't do that. Congress has to do that. So for now, no. Marriage based, I want, and then keep in mind too, he has said that he's not going to touch the marriage base. I know we have to take it with a grain of salt, but marriage based processes is not the issue here. Marriage based, I-130 approved, I-485 pending. What's next? Wait for the I-485 decision. Make sure you don't need to send anything in. What is the EB2 green card? So it's the national interest waiver. I would say with this, that is also another scammer favorite. Now, the national interest waiver is a great option to get your own green card without needing an employer sponsor. And I think this is going to be a very, very popular avenue because it's more employment based. It's more based on the education. And so this administration has said that they want to focus more on these avenues. However, there are still rules. If you overstayed your visa, then you cannot apply for this here in the United States. There is no avenue for you to do adjustment of status. It's definitely, you'd have to make sure you qualify by applying for a special waiver. And to get the waiver, you have to qualify. By having a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, spouse, or parent. So that's the the only exception is if you overstayed, you're here, you have a spouse or a parent who's a citizen or a resident, then you can apply for the national interest waiver, then wait for the waiver to be approved, and then go through consular processing. The waiver approved means you can go to the embassy, your overstay will not be held against you, and then you can come back and become a green card holder with that visa. The national interest waiver is based on having an advanced degree, which is your PhD, your master's. If you have that, you automatically qualify for the first prong of the national interest waiver. Then they're going to look at 3 other requirements. So once they say, okay, you qualify, you have your PhD, you have your master's, or you have exceptional ability. I'll talk about the exceptional ability in a minute. But let's just say they look and say, okay, you qualify based on your education or based on your exceptional ability. Now, the next thing is, do you meet these 3 requirements? Can you show that you will achieve a goal of national importance or substantial merit and substantial merit? Doesn't mean you have to be famous, doesn't mean you have to invent anything here, but it does mean that whatever you're doing here, you have to show that it is of substantial merit. So it is beneficial to the United States, right? It's of national importance. It's going to contribute to the United States on a whole. Then the next thing is, do you have the means to achieve that goal? When we say, do you have the means to achieve the goal? Do you have the contacts? Do you have the relationships? Do you have the experience to do that? So this is through letters of recommendations, possibly offers of employment, possibly business connections, possibly any contracts that you've been offered. That's the means. Then the last one is it beneficial to the United States to just give you the green card rather than requiring an employer to just do it for you, right? If you meet those 3, then you can qualify for the green card through the national interest waiver. You'll be approved for the petition. But then the next thing is, do you qualify? If you're here in the US, did you comply with your visa? Did you not overstay? Did you enter legally? Is the priority date current? They're going to look at all of that to determine whether they can approve the green card while you're here in the US. So one thing I would say, if you've already overstayed, that's going to be a problem. Because I know this because I know that there's scammers out there that are telling people, why don't you go and apply for the national interest waiver? You can get a work permit while you wait. And then guess what? Once again, you are at risk for submitting a fraudulent application because in truth and fact, you didn't qualify for it. And so they could look at it as if you just applied to get the work permit and in the process you committed fraud. So be very careful. And that's why I say start with an appointment so we can determine what you qualify for. All right. What's the validity of the work permit that we're giving for VAWA? Right now it's 5 years. Anything in regards to U visa, how long? Nothing changed with the U visa. It does take about 2 years to get the deferred action and work permit, 1.5 to 2 years. And then it is a 10-year period to get the actual U visa, but you get to renew your work permit while you wait. What's the wait time for VAWA? So the entire wait time from filing to green card is 3 years. After 6 months to 12 months, you'd get your work permit and travel document in case you need to travel for emergencies. And then you can continue to renew that. It's really 5 years right now. We don't know if that's going to change, but it's 5 years right now. And then from there, you'd be able to get your green card office approved, which is approved at 2 years, and then give it another 6 months to 12 months to get to the green card. If I go to the courthouse to get married, will they stop me? This is a good question. there is risk everywhere. Unfortunately, the risk is everywhere. So you have to be very vigilant. I'm sorry, I don't have much comfort there, but to say that yes, going to any public spaces, it's no longer protected. So before, these sensitive areas were protected areas, right? Church, shelters, courts, these were protected areas. ICE could not just go in there and detain people. Well, that is no more. So you have to be vigilant. Do you work with asylum case that has removal order? Yes, we do. But keep in mind that we only work with clients who are not working with an attorney already. So if you're working with an attorney, you need to make sure you talk to your attorney about your case. Now, keep in mind that we have other attorneys here, and you should book with them. I work very closely with Attorney Deanna, Attorney Bria. If you follow me, you've probably seen our videos together. We work very closely together, and a part of this is the attorneys here. Um, they they go through to make sure that you qualify, make sure that we can accept your case and we can bring you to success. It's very important that you not wait for my schedule, because I don't want, this is urgent right now. This is the time to act. And I don't want you to wait for weeks for my appointments to be open. You need to do it now. That's the important thing. The important thing is to get us at ST Law Office to work on your case. So get that. And that's why we're doing this free initial evaluation, so that we can get started as soon as possible without you worrying about money. We can at least go through and see what are your options, what are your possible options, and then get straight to talking about strategy. Is there a penalty for renewing conditional green card 14 months late? So usually they're very strict about this, that they don't have forgiveness for applying late. But the strategy really has been, as long as they have not issued a notice to appear, go ahead and apply. Your case is really urgent. So please contact us and let's get started, because if they haven't issued a notice to appear for you to go to court, because keep in mind, if you don't renew your conditional green card on time, straight to immigration court, which means now you're defending against deportation. So you have to take it very seriously, treat it very urgently. Call us. That's exactly what we work on. So let's get on it now. Your case is really urgent. Let's say my lawyer about to send out paperwork, and can I use lawyer receipt as some form of proof that I'm about to start my process? So no, the receipt notice is probably going to be your strongest avenue. So make sure you talk to the lawyer, make sure you work out whatever delays are happening to get that in, because the receipt notice is going to be what you need to show. Do you service Connecticut? Absolutely. Give us a call. How long is the T visa bona fide? I'd say 70 to 90 days. Can I still file for a T visa? Yes, absolutely. T visas, VAWAs, marriage based, family, those legal avenues to get your papers are still there. Don't sleep on it. Make sure you look to see if you qualify. It's there, okay? And it can only be changed by Congress. Now, the parole program for like Venezuela that we saw, they just terminated. Venezuela and Haiti, they just terminated that. They terminated CBP1, which was an app that allowed people to schedule their appointment to be evaluated for asylum. They terminated that. They terminated TPS for Venezuelans. These are discretionary. It's based on the discretion of the president and the Secretary of Homeland Security. the kinds of cases that we mostly work on are statutory, meaning they are written into the books by Congress, and the president alone can't just get rid of it. As you can see, even with other non-immigration issues, the courts are putting a stop to all the executive orders. For example, executive orders ending freezing funding. The court has said no, and freezing funding for the USAID. The court has said no, that he can't just do that, because these are budgetary items that have been approved by Congress. The president cannot just unilaterally say he's not going to fund something that Congress has directed him to fund. So it's the same with immigration, right? These are types of things that he has to work with Congress, and he has to say, I would like these things passed. They have to go through the legislative process. The Congress has to pass it, then it goes to Senate, then it's signed by the president. So if any changes are happening, we will know it, and I will definitely tell you. So for right now, though, you need to get on it so that you can get this protection on the books. All right. Let's see. What about people with deportation orders from 30 years ago to Cuba from a conviction from 37 years ago? So yes, these are the main targets of this administration. What I would say is that if you do have, and if you, after the deportation order, you qualify for something, then that could still give you relief. But right now, the Trump administration, they are looking at people who already have removal orders, and they're targeting those people first. So, and those with criminal records. So, if you need to figure out what relief you qualify for, to see if the removal order can be reopened and terminated with this relief pending. As from Jamaica, I had a green card as a minor, but I've been back in Jamaica for years now. Can I apply? That is going to be problematic, because if you come in with that green card, they may let you in, but they may refer you to court. They may present you with what's called an I-407, which is saying that you are voluntarily surrendering your green card. Definitely do not sign that without legal advice from an attorney, because it means that you are declaring that you're abandoning your green card status. If you refuse to sign it, they may send you to court, to have the court decide whether you abandoned your green card or not, or whether you should stay with it. I would say that given the number of years you've been out of the country, without using the green card, without entering the US, it's unlikely they'll even let you on the plane. So that's the other hurdle, is you go to the airport, and because you don't have valid proof of permanent residence, they're going to tell you need to go to the embassy and get a re-entry permit to get back into the US, which the re-entry permit is called SB1 visa. You have to show that you stayed out of the country for reasons outside of your control, or some kind of extraordinary circumstances caused you to stay outside of the country. So I would say that's the likely result here, is you have to go back to the embassy, get a re-entry permit, because you've been out of the country since you're a minor, which means they won't even let you on the plane. Do you need a USA visa to get work permit? So keep in mind that if you have a visitor's visa, it depends. If you have a work visa, you don't need a work permit, because you have a work visa to come into the country to work. If you come into the country with a visitor's visa, you're not supposed to work. So you should not be submitting any work permit applications. If you're adjusting your status from visitor's visa to green card, and you want to apply for a work permit while you wait, then that's another story. Asylum with illegal entry at first, later have TPS and I-94. No, married U.S. citizen can file concurrently. Your case is a little more complex because we'd want to see what, when you got the I-94, was it from entry, from advanced parole? So we would want to see. It's possible that as long as you can now show that you were paroled into the country, and you're married to a US citizen, then you can file for adjustment of status. But I'm not your attorney. I can't give you personalized legal advice. And this is definitely where you need to call for that initial evaluation. How do you need a US visa in order to get a work permit? Hi. Oh, I answered that. I-130 wait time is 20 months. Should I-485, would that expedite it? Get in touch with us, because keep in mind that no, that's not how it works. The I-485 would not expedite it. The question is, do you qualify for adjustment of status to file it with your I-130? That is what is important here. All right. Is it safe to travel using advanced parole? I-130, I-485 still pending. I'm inclined at this time to tell individuals thinking about traveling, if you can stay put, stay put. If it's an emergency, you need to understand the risk that you're taking, right? And is it worth the risk? It really comes down to you if you do have a valid travel document. But I would say stay put. We want to evaluate and see what is coming, what changes are coming. We want to be able to see, settle into this administration to make sure to understand fully the approach of this administration and what is the attitude towards advanced parole. So I would say stay put, but I'm not your attorney, so it really it's really going to depend on your circumstances and the risks that you're willing to bear. Dancer performer can apply EB to new visa if they bachelor's degree, more than 5 years experience. So dancer performer, yes, so that's a possibility. So if the dancer or performer has exceptional ability, or they have their bachelor's degree with 5 years or more of experience, then that is a possibility. But keep in mind, if your goal is to get to the green card while being here in the US, you have to understand your the priority date. You have to understand, where does your status put you, in your immigration status put you in regards to qualifying for it as well. All right, so that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you everybody for your time. Go ahead, call. Let's do that evaluation. This free evaluation is going to be ongoing. So it's not just within the hour I talk, it's around the clock. So go ahead, give us a call, talk to us. Let's see how we can help you, and let's move forward. We're focusing on solutions here. That's what I'm here for. This is what this law firm is here for, is to help immigrants to get their papers legally. And once you get it legally, you're okay, right? So that's what you need to do. Get in touch with us. Let's look at your case. You'd have nothing to lose here. Let's talk to you, look at your case, and then decide how to move forward with options. Have a great, great day, and I'll see you. Remember, like, subscribe, follow, so that when I come on, and if you have time, you can come on at the same time and ask your questions, okay? If you have something going on now, it's the time to give us a call. All right, bye-bye. Have a good one.